Don't look under the bed at 3 a.m. A while ago, my sister and I were home alone one night. We were just finishing up dinner when we heard a loud bang on the floor above us. We looked at each other and just laughed. It was probably just an animal in the walls. You know, the house makes a lot of noises. Sometimes pipes, sometimes the wind. You name it. But this particular noise was a bit more unnerving. As we were eating, every once in a while we would hear a loud bang or a crash from upstairs. At first we thought it was just one of our family members who was home late and was unpaying attention. But then we realized that all of our family members were accounted for. The only people who should be in the house are the ones who are currently sitting at the dinner table. My sister and I continued to eat, but we were starting to get a little freaked out. Every time we heard a noise, we would look at each other in suspense. Then the lights began to flicker. My sister and I screamed and dropped our food. As we backed away from the table, we tripped over our chairs and made a run for the basement door. As we were running, my sister turned to me and said, "Let's get out of here." And just as she uttered those words, the basement door slammed shut. We both froze. The door was shut, but I distinctly remember leaving it open. My sister and I stared at the door for what felt like an eternity, but it was probably only about 5 seconds. Then we started to scream for help. But before we could even finish our first sentence, the doorknob started to turn. We kept screaming as the doorknob turned slowly at first, then faster. Finally, the door opened and a dark figure emerged. We screamed again. I don't remember what I expected to see, but it definitely wasn't this. It was our dog Sparky, who had somehow gotten himself into the basement. He must have let himself in with his key card. I swear that dog has a key card. The relief that washed over me was so intense that I actually fell to the ground. My sister and I burst out laughing. We were so embarrassed, we quickly apologized to our dog for yelling at him and scratching his ears. He licked our faces and wagged his tail. Then he trotted off, leaving us to clean up the mess. When my sister and I finally made it upstairs, we turned off the lights to go back to eating dinner. And as we were doing so, we heard a loud crash from above us. We looked at each other, shook our heads and smiled. Some things will never change.